What's up YouTube, DMLX here, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 7 guest characters for Injustice 3. This list is defined by guest characters that I would purchase day 1 if they were to be included in the game, most likely as DLC. Personally, I enjoy having guest characters pop up in fighting games, or any game for that matter, if it's the right fit. NetherRealm's lineup of guest characters in their games are some of the best in the business, just below the Super Smash Bros. Series. With guest characters like Kratos and Freddy Krueger in Mortal Kombat 9, the various horror icons in Mortal Kombat X, Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles appearing in Injustice 2, and now in Mortal Kombat 11 we have the Terminator and Spawn getting in on the action, making the past 8 years a great time to be a fan of NetherRealm's games. So with that being said, let's get on with the countdown. Coming in at number 7 is The Mask. Also known as Big Head in the comics, The Mask is probably one of the most animated / unpredictable characters NetherRealm could add to the roster of Injustice 3. Seeing that The Mask centers around a magical mask which bestows on its wearer reality-bending powers and an alternate appearance, characterized by a large set of teeth and a green head, as well as affects the personality of the wearer by removing all social and moral constraint, which can cause the wearer to go completely insane. With that in mind, if NetherRealm were to have The Mask join the roster in Injustice 3, I would like to see them stray away from the movie versions of the character, especially Jamie Kennedy's Son of the Mask.
Don't you just love Halloween?
And rather focus more on the comic book aspects of The Mask, where he's viewed more as an anti-hero with ultra-violent tendencies. So basically Deadpool with the powers of a Looney Tune god. Although little references to the Jim Carrey version of The Mask through intro dialogue, special moves, and clothing would be a nice addition for the fans of the 1994 classic.
Okay.
Plus, The Mask has crossed over with the DC Universe in the past, as he starred in comics alongside Lobo and the Joker. Honestly, coming across a group of characters like those working together side by side would be a nightmare not many would be able to escape from. Enforcing the law at number 6 is Judge Dredd. As a law enforcement / judicial officer in the dystopian future city of Mega City 1, Dredd is also known as a street judge, empowered with the authority to arrest, convict, sentence, and execute criminals on the spot. Dredd is armed with the Lawgiver pistol, a weapon programmed to recognize only his palm print and capable of firing 6 types of ammunition.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball!
His face is rarely shown in the comics due to the helmet he wears on duty that only exposes his mouth and jaw. The writer of Judge Dredd, John Wagner, stated that it's meant to represent that justice has no soul. Personally, I found appreciation for the character when the 2012 film Dredd was released starring Carl Urban. Didn't really care for the Sly version though.
You killed innocent people.
The means to an end.
You started a massacre.
I caused the revolution.
You betrayed the law.
Law!
Right.
Overall, Judge Dredd is a hardcore character that deals with heavy themes that I would love to see NetherRealm bring to life in a potential Injustice 3. Also, like The Mask, Dredd has crossed over with the DC Universe, when he teamed up with Batman in the 4-issue comic Judgment on Gotham, which will make for a nice callback during the intro dialogue between the two. Kicking in at number 5 is Fire God Liu Kang. If Injustice 3 does end up being NetherRealm's next game, then the chances that a Mortal Kombat character join the roster as DLC are quite high. Case in point, Scorpion being in Injustice 1, while Sub-Zero and Raiden ended up in Injustice 2. At first, I thought Noob Saibot would be a good choice as the next Mortal Kombat character to fight amongst DC's finest. But after witnessing the reveal of Fire God Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 11, I changed my opinion real quick. The possibility of being able to use special moves that combine both elements of fire and lightning as Liu Kang in a balanced, I repeat, a balanced fighting game format would be pretty fun. We got a taste of what that would be like during the last chapter of Mortal Kombat 11's story, so here's hoping NetherRealm was able to take Fire God Liu Kang to that next level and not have fans wait till Mortal Kombat 12 to know what the new Elder God of Time is capable of. Creeping out of the shadows at number 4 is Snake Eyes. Arguably the most popular member of the G.I. Joe team, this Shadow Ninja is as deadly as they come. Best known for being the prime example of the strong silent type, I can see Snake Eyes bringing a lot to the table within the Injustice universe in terms of customization and moveset, although the intro dialogue with other characters would be a bit awkward.
So many years, so many fights, so much hate.
And the one downside to having Snake Eyes being a part of Injustice 3 is him being viewed as a Deathstroke clone. since they both dress like ninjas that are highly skilled in using bladed weapons, firearms, and explosives. So this would definitely be a challenge for NetherRealm in terms of making Snake Eyes stand out as his own character without borrowing elements from what was established with Deathstroke, but I think they would be able to pull it off. Stomping in at number 3 is Kickass. As a high school student and a comic book fan, Dave Lewitsky had dreams that inspired him to become a real-life superhero. One day he ends up donning green-yellow spandex, wields twin batons, and goes by the name Kickass. Unfortunately, he failed to realize that fighting crime with no superpowers or any special combative training would ultimately lead to getting his ass kicked really fast.
He needs some milk!
After his first unsuccessful attempt at being a superhero left him hospitalized, he had several metal plates and braces surgically implanted within his body, along with severe nerve damage, providing him with the ability to be almost immune to pain, which ends up being beneficial for future fights. Most of the time.
Even with my metal plates, I gotta tell you, that hurt.
Personally, I think Kickass will make a great addition to the roster of Injustice 3 because of how raw and sluggish of a fighter he is compared to any other character within the DC universe. Of course, NetherRealm could also go with Hit Girl if they wanted to bring in a more competent fighter. However, I think Kickass's incompetence as a hero would actually be more appealing to play as in-game, being that he is an underdeveloped hero with subpar fighting abilities, rather than playing as Hit Girl, who's pretty much a female version of Damian Wayne's Robin. Hailing from Eternity at number 2 is HeMan. Now imagine hearing that during the intro dialogue sequence. The alter ego of Prince Adam, HeMan is identified as the most powerful man in the universe, due to his superhuman strength and reflexes that varies depending on the incarnation of the character. But hey, if HeMan's able to lift and throw Castle Grayskull itself, as well as trade punches with the Man of Steel, then there's no doubt he's the most powerful man in his universe. Also, HeMan wields the Sword of Power in most incarnations, other times it tends to be an axe. In most cases, the sword is virtually indestructible and can deflect rays that are magical and technological. The Sword of Power can also shoot energy beams and also absorb energy for, well, more power. Not to mention, whenever Prince Adam becomes He-Man, he similarly transforms Cringer, his pet quote-unquote cat, into a brave armored green tiger named Battle Cat, who serves as He-Man's steed and a fierce fighting companion. I gotta say, if Injustice 3 gave He-Man a super move where he teams up with Battle Cat, that would be a pretty badass moment to pull off in-game. Now remember when I said He-Man was able to trade blows with Superman? Yeah, well, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe have crossed over with DC in the comics on multiple occasions. But the one crossover event that makes me think He-Man being in Injustice 3 is most likely going to happen is because of the release of the Injustice vs. Masters of the Universe limited series. During the 6-issue event, Batman recruits He-Man in the ultimate fight against Superman's dictatorship on Earth, but as He-Man forms an alliance with the heroes of Injustice, his home of Eternia faces a threat of its own in the form of Darkseid. I mean, if that doesn't sell you the possibility of He-Man being in Injustice 3, I don't know what will. Lastly, morphing in at number 1 are the Power Rangers. More specifically, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers lineup, which consists of the OG6, Jason the Red Ranger, Billy the Blue Ranger, Zack the Black Ranger, Trini the Yellow Ranger, Kimberly the Pink Ranger, and Tommy the Green Ranger. And like other characters on this list, the Rangers have also crossed paths with the DC Universe in the comics, making their entry in the Injustice series even more plausible. In terms of how the Ranger selection would work, I would like to see it be based off the way you can play as each Ninja Turtle individually in Injustice 2, where the player would be able to select a specific weapon a Ranger wields and then use that Ranger's specific traits in games such as combos and special moves. For example, if I wanted to play as Jason, I'd pick the Power Sword. If I wanted to play as Tommy, I'd pick the Dragon Dagger. If I wanted to play as Zack, I'd pick the Power Axe, etc, etc. However, creating various gear and movesets for 6 Power Rangers seems like it would be a bit more of a hassle for developers to deal with compared to 4 Ninja Turtles. So if they wanted to keep things simple, I'd nominate just having Tommy Oliver be the only Ranger playable, seeing that he's arguably the most popular Ranger in the franchise. And I'm sure NetherRealm could easily get Jason David Freight to come in and voice the character once more, as he's still heavily involved with the series, as recently seen making a cameo in the 2017 reboot film, and appeared in the Ninja Steel team-up episode Dimensions in Danger, still kicking all sorts of ass. Plus, if NetherRealm were to add in the Lord Draken version of the character within the Injustice 3's gear system, that would be the icing on the cake. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What guest characters would you like to see in Injustice 3? And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out. Subscribe for more content from me on Injustice and on the games in general. I'm DMLX. I'll see you in the future.